The truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing.
And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People television, where your health has a voice.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us. This is VOP this morning, newspaper review. Looking into it, I have my producer, confusing me, Manfred. Oh well, welcome to the program. Now we go into the papers, look at the headlines, make sense of it all, and we do have. Chukuma is very much with me. Chukuma Okoro very much with me. He doubles as an analyst on this part of the show. And also, Mazi Amobi in Hebrew is also in the building. Thank you very much for staying back.
Thank you.
All right. Now, let's dive into it. We'll be joined later by Dele Fanimo also as we go into the papers. Now, we do have The Punch, The Guardian, This Day, and a few other dailies also. We'll be looking at these headlines. And the big story on the cover page of The Punch, let's start off with that one. It's the big story on the cover page of The Punch newspaper. And it says, power drain. Electricity subsidy nears 2 trillion naira yearly. Consumers pay 1.13 trillion naira for power in 6 months amid outages. Rising electricity subsidy sparks fresh fears. All right. It's the power sector.
Yeah. The critical nature of electricity cannot be overemphasized, in terms of developmental strides of this country. We have said it even at the expense of redundancy, that government should take electricity very seriously. In the past, a lot of things has happened, and Nigerians are also growing with electricity hike. Now, electricity payments are not within the average Nigerian's reach, particularly for those in Band A. They are not within the Nigerian reach. It's very sad that it's happening that way. But what government should do, as a matter of fact, is to ensure that all these subsidies they are talking about, are reflected in the tariff structure. Our problem is that they are not. And each day they tell us a new strange of structure, a subsidy. Just like in the petroleum subsector too, we are being told that subsidy is still there by some people, that in spite of the fact that government has removed subsidy, they still say that there are elements of subsidy. So now that the government has also is touting the idea of electricity subsidy, I do not know. What it means is that it will translate into hike in electricity tariff, which will not be too good for the average Nigerian. Because you can't talk of development without electricity.
Of course, yes. Chukuma, please.
Yes, the electricity tariff and subsidy is something that is concerning to all of us. I recall that you and I, we did a little bit of arithmetic. I think that was on Monday, about how we have progressed between 2015 and 2025. And I recall that as at 2015, when APC came into, when the administration of the PDP ended, our kilowatt rate you know, for a unit of electricity was 18 naira. No, yes, was 18 naira. Yes, 18 naira at that point. But since 2023, between 2023, now depending on the band, it moved between 87 to 200 naira per unit of electricity. You know,
depending on the band.
Depending on the band that you are, ABC. And so it speaks to how electricity generation has become part of a problem, you know, in our bid to industrialize. There is practically nothing anybody can do without power. It was, apart from the steam engine, you know, that rode, apart from the industrial revolution that saw the world, you know, progress from one form of historical development to another, it was actually at the backdrop of power generation. There is nothing practically, in our daily lives now, there is nothing that you can do without power. Absolutely. You wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is to pick up your phone. And if your phone is not powered, it can't come on. And if it can't come on, you can't check your bank balance. You can't even call your family if you are not with family. You can't make business calls. So it is power. And so when you go to other subsectors of the economy, you discover that power is the structure that every other structure is built upon. So if we are grappling with this and we are talking about industrialization, like I keep telling, the first time I heard the word diversify was when we were doing economics, primary economics in the secondary school. And at that point, how it came into focus was because it was the argument that we need to diversify away from power, away from oil. And that's about 40 years ago plus, and we are still, at this time, we're still talking about diversification. And in all of this, we are still grappling. At a point, the partial disturbance, you know, in the national grid dropped our collective consumption, so our collective output to 50 megawatts. That is strange, very disturbing, deeply troubling. And so every other business that is built on electricity is not thriving. I keep talking about a certain telco CEO who came to Nigeria and said, look, Nigeria is my best business, but I will have doubled, tripled, or quadrupled my earnings if I was not running two companies. And I asked him, which two companies are you running? He said, I run a telco, I also run a power generation company. Meaning that in all...
Run the power to power
his telco. So he has two big generators in thousands of base stations across the country, permanent on 24/7, because they cannot rely on the national grid. So that is one person speaking. And I don't know why it is difficult. We talk about turbine, we talk about independent generation. These things are, nobody is asking us to go and build a turbine. Other people have built. Why can't we just buy and install? So why is it a big problem? It's like you going to a market in Europe, and even if it is not Shell, you know, you can book. Within 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, they can produce one for you, come and install, and give your people power. So why is it so difficult for us? And we are talking about 2 trillion naira. Before we came on air, Moses did a calculation. If you have 1 trillion naira to spend over time, and they say spend 1 million naira every day, it will take you about
2,740 years.
2,740 years to spend 1 trillion naira if you have to spend 1 million naira per day. So 2 trillion naira.
And no human being has lived up to 1,000 years.
Except in the days of Methuselah.
Even days of Methuselah, they didn't live up to
1,000.
Up to 1,000.
It was 900.
900 and something.
You are my scholar, you are my biblical scholar, so you can tell better. So it's, I mean, we can't, and countries that we started out with, countries that we've been moved up before them, talking about people like Vietnam. We can discountenance Egypt. Egypt is an ancient civilization, but how about Vietnam?
Malaysia.
How about Malaysia? People that we started out with. And we are still struggling with 13,000 because when we want to fantasize...
13,000 what?
No, 13,000 megawatts. When we want to fantasize...
When do you start generating 13,000?
No, they said that is what we have generated.
And how much is being willed to the national grid?
Exactly. That is... No, I say when we want to fantasize about how well we have done.
Well, you've heard the voice of Dele Fanimo. He joins the conversation. Welcome to the conversation.
So sorry, I had to jump the gun because I can't even...
No, I had an argument. I had an argument with a guest that he insisted that it was 13,000. And as a matter of fact, when I checked it up, it was actually 13,000 that we can do. But how many have... That we have done, that's the much that we have done. That's the highest that we have done.
Now,
but now the question is, how much of that have we willed to
the national
the national grid? And Moses the other day brought it to our attention that TSN has been unbundled. We have NISO, we have the other one, but what's still owned 100% by the
We are paying for waste. Let's assume, without conceding, that we have generated 13,000. As of today, the national grid cannot sustain 5,000.
which is what brought me to
Now-
TCF being unbundled.
Now, what that translates to is, let us assume, because I know that the national grid as of today cannot even take 5,000. But let's just agree that it's taking 5,000. Well, remove 5 from 13. You have 8. That means 8,000 megawatts
It's been allowed to go to waste.
is being allowed to go to waste. And we're
And
paying
that's what we
subsidy.
are paying for.
That is it.
That's what we are paying for.
It's so simple. If you manufacture and government takes the responsibility of saying, go ahead and do, and we are going to be off takers, and you don't have anywhere to utilize this particular thing, and government is paying for waste. The same way government is servicing salaries and wages in NNPC without any contribution to the national economy.
Now that you brought NNPC,
Why do we waste 8 megawatts?
Because the national grid cannot carry it. It will
cannot
collapse.
take more than 5. And
Why is the 5 megawatts?
Because
because it's
are old.
ancient.
the equipment are old.
Because it's ancient.
No,
Just
we
like
didn't
NNPC
plan.
is ancient.
We didn't plan to upgrade. We failed to plan. We had national development plans. We had rolling plans.
Now, let
and
me
in all of
pose
this,
another
we knew
question.
that the population.
What does it take to upgrade the national?
New equipment.
Let me give you a story. Let me give you a story.
I'm going somewhere.
I was directly
Okay.
involved at some point. You see, the national grid does not take rocket science to increase the intake to the national grid. But vested interest, just like in NNPC, will not allow it. Vested interest includes labor union, includes importers of generating sets that are bribing the labor unions to make it impossible for the upgrade of the national grid, and then vandals that compromise this infrastructure. Now, in 2010 or 11, when Jonathan was in government, he attempted to bring Manitoba from Canada to come and upgrade the national grid. Do you know that it was this same Ajero that was the General Secretary of NUI, National Union of Electricity Employees, that stood against it? That it took the federal government some level of manipulation that I was also involved in, that made Manitoba to have inroads. But they didn't allow Manitoba to succeed. Now, during Buhari's tenure, they brought cement from Germany that had been successful in other countries in trying to upgrade their energy infrastructure. But up till today, the subcontractors that were employed, that were foisted on cement to upgrade these things, took money from them and bolted away. No law to catch up with them, for them to come and do their job. Today, if cement JAG, Germany, is still in Nigeria, they are just trying to round off without any noticeable achievement to the national grid. So it's a complex thing. Now you allow private sector to play in the generating aspect of this electricity chain. They are ready, they are pushing, they are generating, and they are saying they are generating 13,000 megawatts. 13,000 megawatts would considerably improve energy. Do you know that Lagos State alone can absorb 2,000 megawatts? But because most big companies, manufacturing rail sector, part of this Lagos State economy, they run on alternative energy. that they see PACL, whatever it is called now, as just a backup instead of being the main.
Main source.
And so what we are paying, the 2 trillion that they want this government to pay is payment for waste. That's why I said it is like NNPC.
Okay.
Today, NNPC, the salary in NNPC is enough to pay half of the entire civil service in this country.
With these few points of
And they are not.
I hope he's been able to
Convince me.
Well,
It's
now
very
that you
pathetic, really. Very pathetic.
Okay, now that you brought NNPC into it, I was going to mention something also in the papers. It says Nigeria's fuel crude importation concern defies price war. And then, let's put up the Guardian newspaper. That's the big story on the cover page of the Guardian. And it says petrol imports soar to 1.8 million metric tons, highest in 12 months. Crude intake from local refiners fell from six-month average. Petrol prices hover between 920 naira and 739 naira, despite an ex-refinery price reduction to 699 naira by Dangote refinery. And, that's the breakdown here. And when you flip the pages to, I think the big story is on page 6 itself, the writers to that says, refining capacity plummets. Petrol imports soar to 1.8 million metric tons, highest in 12 months. Petrol imports. Stakeholders list expectations for new heads of NMDPRA and UPRC.
Why is all this happening in critical sectors of the economy?
You see?
Critical sectors of the economy, electricity subsector, oil and gas, there's petroleum subsector and all that. Why do we allow this type of thing to happen in critical sectors?
Because people are benefiting from it.
How do we arrest these issues?
When I look at the story of Venezuela, the fact that they have the largest deposit of crude oil and they have, rare earth minerals and the rest, and the country is where
the poorest.
The poorest, where it is. And then I relate it to our story here in Nigeria with how rich our soil is with oil and the other things that we have. I think these things are a curse.
Okay, I'm sure you have heard about resource costs.
It's a curse.
That's what it is.
Because without them, we would have been thinking very well,
this year.
clearly.
How about this year? The same thing.
Singapore with nothing is doing better.
Better.
Israel with arid land, arid region, desert region, doing very well.
Better. So companies that have what the world is looking for are the most poorest. How do you even explain it?
You just explained it now. It's cost.
Yeah,
It's a problem of leadership.
individuals in those countries are wealthy, but the country itself is poor.
Individuals or governments?
The government, that is individuals.
at
Those
least they are
people,
individuals
they're
of
the
that
elites.
country.
The elites, they are. It's just like what is happening in Zamfara axis, where they mine gold or other solid minerals. The government is not getting anything from there, but the individuals are making, a hell of money. Helicopters will land, comes in there, pick these things, and go away. And people are richer, but the country is poorer. That's exactly what is going on. So how do you now check? And once these people come in there, pick this thing and go and sell, they make more money, they become more emboldened, they have more connections. If you talk, they say, I will remove you from there. Moses, I will remove you from VOP. And then you find out that they can do that. You understand me? So they are empowered. And once you are empowered, you are connected. Once you are connected, we are capable of doing anything. So the onion lies in government to begin to take a look at what happened when they said people should come for licensing in Zamfara area. Federal government says they should come, license them so that they know you are there and all that. Even the locals, who are the people, down there mining the thing, felt that their livelihood is threatened. And they begin to do one or two things to ensure that government agenda is not realizable. So what it means is that government should step up, its efforts, in terms of getting most of these resources to come in, the largesse coming from most of these resources to come into the government coffers. That is the only way we can survive. I do not know. I think one time the Minister for Solid Minerals did say how much we are losing in that solid mineral space, and that government should be able to get it and then plug it back into, to support the oil money too. I think it is high time that thing is done to be able to rake in much more revenue to the government instead of taxing us to stupor.
You see, for me, I consider that story a sponsored story.
Which one about?
On NNPC, on fuel import and all that. It's a sponsored story. Because it's at variance with what Dangote is pushing out. Dangote says, today, it pushes out 50 million liters of petrol on a daily basis from its gantry, and that anybody can come in to verify. And our daily consumption hovers between 40 and 45 million. And he also says he has 28 days stock in case there's a disruption, that it will stop free flow for 28 days. Now, why are we now saying import is higher? You see, you need somebody who understands the depth of some of these stories. Don't believe everything that newspapers shun out. I'm sorry, I'm a product of The Guardian. And I understand all my life, I've always been in the media. I've never known any job. And I've played at the top. You see, this was the same thing that happened when a newspaper, I don't want to mention the name now, came up with, petrol will be sold before December at 120 to 1,200 to 1,500. I was saying that if I was the editor of that paper, because that reporter relied on just emotional sentiment to churn out that particular story, that story is not true. And I give analysis of why it is not true. Today, how much are we buying fuel? 739. Now, this particular story negates what the sole refinery that is pumping out fuel is saying, and nobody has controverted that. Now, this story is likely to be sponsored by independent marketers, just to give that feeling that they cannot stop importation of fuel. And some of them, they are already moving on to Dangote to lift petrol from Dangote. Yet you are saying importation has soared. Where is it coming from? Okay, imagine if Dangote is saying it can feed local consumption effortlessly. The ones they are importing, to what end are they importing? That's the question you ask. Until this story extrays the position of Dangote and what Dangote has been able to do, if it is true or not, then you cannot believe that story. For me, I am not going to believe that story.
I think the issue is that the industry was taken by storm when Dangote came in. And then it changed the landscape of that sector. And people that have been, vegetating on, that industry begin to feel the pinch. I think it's a reaction to what Dangote is doing. Right. Ordinarily, even 2-3 years ago, when Dangote was still under construction, we were told that it was a game changer in the Nigerian oil subsector. And then Nigerians were very hopeful that this change, they can't wait for too long. No sooner than Dangote entered the fray than, a lot of things started coming up and all that. So it is all about change, people are reacting to change, differently. I think that with time, they will come to terms with the reality on ground and begin to do the normal thing.
All right then. Okay, let me take a few political stories, and then we'll just lump our analysis, react to all of them together. This day has this story. It's big story. It says, Jonathan, despite many defections to ruling APC, PDP alive and strong. Party blasts APC over Wike on Rivers crisis. Says it can't cry foul now. The Guardian has APC has no right to complain about Wike, says PDP. I will not step down for no one, Atiku vows, 2027. 2027, Jonathan pledges active role in PDP, says Turaki. These are
You see,
quite interesting stories.
like I said about 2 days ago, Wiki should better watch it. His bravado has ended with the coming to APC of Fubara and the 27 lawmakers. And the earlier he understands this, the better for him. That's one. Because right now, either he likes it or not, Fubara is the leader of APC in Rivers State. And I keep saying one thing. The sitting president...
Before we continue, there's a video that was out there. Let's play that video and let's hear what Wike had to say. I'm sure you've seen the video, but for the benefit of our viewers.
And do tell them to come out. No be to talk cha. No be whoa. Yes, so we can our leader. Oh. No be cha. Oh. No be we can our leader. No be whoa. No be whoa. Yes, so we can our leader. No be cha. Oh. Yes, so we can our leader. If I don't say this, let me warn those who come to River State because you have had about 600 billion. You come here, you collect, and you open your mouth, you talk anyhow. I want to say it. You know, some people will come out to make sure those things don't work. I say it here, Victor, I want to say it here. Take this message. Tell your national secretary, leave River State alone. Leave River State alone. Go and ask those who have tried it before. Go and ask those who have tried it before. Kapinta, Bidikila, Owa Pondole, Kamanga, Wokandolewa, Owa Pondole, Kapinta, Bidikila.
Brought the state chairman of both parties together, that of PDP and APC. And he says, look, who can do this? Nobody else can do this. Only Wike can do this. Bring state chairman of two parties together, you know. And, you know, he's here and there. He's now the octopus. The octopus Wike.
The game is over for Wike, if you ask my candid opinion. Yeah. The game is over for Wike.
You know, Wike also did say in an interview that, look, nobody can dump him, can use and dump him.
It's possible. It's possible the federal government can dump him. So possible they made him what he is. They can also dump him.
Will there be consequences?
There were.
For the federal government.
No consequences.
In Rivers State.
No consequences.
2027.
No consequences. Tinubu has already gotten an inroad in Rivers State. So Wike's influence in Rivers State vis-a-vis relationship with Tinubu has come down. You understand what I'm saying? So if
have some structures.
No, which structures does he have? Similarly, Fubara has, inherited such structures. If there is any that Wike left.
Local government chairmen are his.
It is not. Things are going to change. You see, politics in 24 hours is a long time in politics. Once the people now know that Fubara is aligned to the federal government, to Abuja, that is it. That is what they need to swing loyalty. The moment, assuming tomorrow Wike is relieved of his ministerial appointment, that will be the last straw that will break the camel's back. Of course, he will not have any pedestal to stand to begin to do what he knew best how to do. So what I'm saying in effect is that Wike has gotten to his zenith, his apogee, as political apogee as it were, in Rivers State. It's now coming down. He will stabilize a little bit there and then nosedive. That is what it's going to be in Rivers politics. I think he has done his job for Mr. President. Mr. President has appreciated him for doing a job, for destroying PDP and all that. PDP find it very difficult. Don't forget about what Jonathan is saying.
What if he moves into the APC? What if
ADC?
No, APC.
Let him move now. Why is he not moving?
Officially.
Why is he not moving?
You have qualified it right.
Why is he not moving? Why is he not moving? If he moves, what difference will he make?
No, he has to remain in PDP.
He already,
because
the governor has moved.
If he steps out of PDP, the inner caucus meetings, he will not be able to attend.
No, but
and he will not be able to do maximum damage.
He still has his men.
He still has his men there.
No, having your men is different from when you are within. You fight more when you are within than when you are without.
The PDP is destroyed already anyway. The governors PDP is destroyed. The governors that have left the PDP, they will not go back.
They won't come back. PDP is more like a skeleton.
You don't understand what I'm saying. A half-dead snake can still strike.
No, now the point is
you must watch that snake until it dies.
At the stage that PDP is now, do you think that if Wike leaves, that it could be revived?
At the stage it is today.
Going by what Jonathan
it's not
is
going
saying.
to be. No, Jonathan.
He pledges active role in PDP.
No, I know what I'm asking. If
Jonathan has only emotional attachment to the old PDP. That is the carryover from those days.
For making him the deputy governor, vice president, and president. He was very thankful to PDP. But PDP becoming relevant in 2027.
I don't see it happening. Yes, to your question.
Yes. PDP is still alive and strong. That's what
PDP is still alive.
But not strong.
But not strong.
Okay.
And the best approach to decimating PDP is to have moles there. And the head of the moles is who we all know. So moving from that position, he may not have inroads.
Exactly my question now is, if he leaves now, as PDP is constituted, if Wike leaves, is there a possibility that PDP could be revived to become strong again?
It could happen.
Not in 2027.
Okay, not in 2027.
It can be relevant in 2020.
There's a question that you asked. I think it's you that asked it, or you said something. What if Wike moves to ADC?
Yeah, I asked.
Yes.
I asked.
If it moves to ADC.
If he moves to ADC.
Will ADC accept him?
No political party will want to.
Even if you go to
even
ADC,
if it's the devil, they will always accept
you. The one thing is to accept you. One thing is to allow you to
play your game.
Play your game.
You understand? They will accept
I do not think ADC
at
will
least
accept
to spite APC.
For now. I do not think.
Okay, Dele said something. They might accept him to spite APC.
They
are already talking. PDP is already saying, blame yourself, for what happened to you.
Yes.
By allowing Wike to play your game for you.
I don't think ADC will accept him.
No political party. No political party
will be accepted.
No.
But
before they accept him,
APC will not accept him if he decides to defect.
APC?
Yes.
Will not
accept Wike.
Why?
APC did not even accept Jackson Adeleke, where he wanted to defect.
No. That one is what?
He wanted to defect. They did not accept him.
You see,
they didn't make it easy for him.
There was no time.
That was why he went to our court.
There was no time. Because APC in Osun State, they have factions on the ground that could work against Adeleke as candidate of APC. So that's why they pushed him to accord. And I can assure you, after the election this year, it will move to APC.
So we are saying the same thing. So if Wike now says, already we are having, big players.
Moses, what we are saying is in principle, no party, you won't go to your ward to register, and the ward chairman will say no. they will let you in. They will not allow you to play the politics. So if they had allowed Adeleke to come in, when Adeleke knew full well that they will not allow him to excel, to play the politics of Goba election in 2027, in 2026, then there was no need for that.
The important
so what we're saying is, in principle, no party will reject you. But in practice, they will put entry barriers, stumbling blocks for you to, you know,
operate. You won't be allowed to excel the way you want to excel, either negatively or positively. When they know that you are likely to be a problem for them. So the whole idea is Wike will not leave PDP until 2027, except if the people that prompted him and promoted him to this level says we are done with you.
Which they are saying in everything.
Already they're showing him the card.
If he's having,
but it's not smart.
If he's having skirmish with the secretary of a party, you know, Moses go and tell the secretary that and all that, and you know, having this banter and all that. So it's very, very, very. It's a red sign for me that the game is over. That is why I said the game is over. When probably Baba comes back, you know, some of these things will be placed on the table for him and all that. Of course, before now, you know, some APC members were having some feelings that this man is becoming overbearing and all that. You know, Baba should try and do something to tame him and all that. So these arguments will come up again, and I think moving closer to 2027, if you begin now to weigh the options like will a Wike, you know, will it be favorable for you to have a Wike or disfavorable for you to have a Wike in terms of Rivers politics? Because it's like a whole lot of things. It's becoming more complex than it was a year ago. Okay. You understand me? In Rivers State, it's becoming more complex than it was, because now that the governor have moved to the ruling party, it's now 001. Wike said it cannot be. And some people are equally supporting that 001 status of the governor. You don't even, he's talking about agreement is agreement. You don't even know what agreement Fubara and Mr. President has gone into. You know, because you know the genesis of Fubara moving to APC. You know, when the governor of Imo State and all that, the scuffle between, you know, power right and all that. Now, the governor facilitated Fubara's entrance into APC, probably to spite Wike and all that. So you now see big wigs lining up behind Fubara, as it were. And those people will not let him go, because Wike, in his attempt to get to the top, has also stepped on toes. So the problem is becoming more complex. Assuming Fubara was still in PDP, then you cannot say that Wike will have an upper hand, will be holding the longer end of the stick. But with Fubara in the ruling party, Wike's power has been abbreviated.
All right, then. You don't want to add anything to that?
I know.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's take a few more headlines as we coast home now. Troops arrest 8 terrorists linked to Gambaru Market Square suicide bombing. CO, Chief of Army Staff. Inadequate training undermines operational effectiveness. Army to deploy more troops to Niger, other states to crush terrorist acts. All right? And then we also have, the rest are in the same political stories that we just...
This is not the time to make excuses.
Inadequate training. What do they mean? What does it mean by inadequate training?
If they bring out the budget for training of these soldiers, you will get stunned. A lot of money has been voted. What of defense budget? Every day, every now and then, every year, you see humongous amount of money budgeted for defense. What are they used for?
We hear that a lot of it go into overhead costs, overhead payments of salaries.
I stumbled on somebody, a policeman, saying they are going for training. I saw him with a rubber bucket, a 6 inches mattress, and all that. I said, why? He said they are going to. I said, why? This is not provided. He said, you're on your own.
Of course.
Nothing.
You provide your uniform.
You provide everything. And meanwhile, you cannot tell me that the federal government can organize a training without the basics. If you like, you can provide it. After the training, you pack it to somewhere else. then you can reuse it and all that. But now, the people that are going for training are providing essentials for themselves. And if you don't go for that training, you will not get promoted. And if you don't get promoted, you will not advance in your career prospect, as it were. So what the man is saying that inadequate training and all that, who will train them? No excuses. Insecurity emergency has been declared an insecurity. So you don't have any excuses. Just like the Minister of Defense is talking about, they know them, the people are doing this, that. This is the time to walk the talk. It's not the time to begin to express sentiments or begin to express inadequacies or incapacity to deal with the matter. That is what is, annoying a lot of people that now make it seem as if they don't have sympathy with government when they say that they are not, government is not alive to their responsibility. You cannot have a government that has declared emergency in insecurity, be talking about lack of training, or the minister will be talking about, people that are, don't want the policy to work. If you know that you know people that don't want the policy to work, you crush them along the line and bulldoze yourself through. There is no need for excuses, my brother.
You see, I'm so annoyed at the way people in the security circle shun out information without processing before they shun out. Is it my responsibility to come and train soldiers or policemen?
I know.
Is it not part of the state's responsibility to train armed forces and other paramilitary agents? How could you tell me that that training is now an albatross? Are you telling me that there is no vote for training and manpower development?
Impossible.
And is it even not a shame that at this time and age, policemen would have to carry buckets and mattress to training school in the police college and other training schools? Where is the money voted for the Police Service Commission and the Nigerian Police Force? Where is it expended?
You see, the even strange and curious thing is that these people that are not very well trained, when they go outside, they excel.
They excel.
So doesn't that defeat the proposition?
I've had some of these police officers that have gone on peace.
No, I'm talking about soldiers, military now.
Even the soldiers.
Okay.
They bring UN personnel to train them before
to retrain them.
To retrain them, yes, to retrain them. So sometimes you don't have to judge by the fact that they are already.
No, but at least that shows that they are trainable.
Of course.
Because at some point we had people who were not trainable.
Well, I don't know anything about that.
No, you told me the story. You told me the story. So don't leave me in the lurch now.
But the point is, even the modules, for anybody that is going to be recruited into the police force, to be able to have a grasp of modern day policing, the least qualification should be OND, no longer school cert.
Yes, absolutely.
Because policing is technologically driven now. How do you impact within 6 months technology, crime detection?
I think they're even employing now. There's an advertorial I saw yesterday calling for recruitment
into
the police force.
They have already approved I think 24,000.
They said so. But I don't know the level they are in now.
The point I'm making
There's an
is
advertorial on TV saying, look, come and join.
If the module...
Are people coming?
I don't know.
Of course.
Moses, if the modules employed those days are still what they are going to teach in police colleges, then we are still in trouble.
Why will it not? Why will it not? If you go back to the university syllabus now, you discover that some of the things they taught us, like 35 years ago.
I went to a private university. I took a tour of the mass comm department. I still saw those old-fashioned cameras that you have to put tarpaulin on your head.
There you are. That's what I'm telling you. I mean, if you go through their syllabus, you discover that what they taught us started 5 years ago.
And they have some funny equipment for training them on sub-editing. You still have pica and all that. I said, wow. I said, Is this modern day training school for mass
Now you are talking about the private university.
That's like
Yes.
a museum. That's like a museum. That just shows people this is what they work with.
That is why when they
It's
come
good
out,
that you are
they are
protected.
relatively unemployable.
Unemployable.
You understand?
That they are not fit
when
for purpose,
they
not
graduate,
suitable.
they are relatively unemployable. Unless you need to, train them yourself. Because people are getting what I say, 5 years, 3 years experience. Say, where will you get the experience if not employed? But in private sector, for instance, you don't have that luxury of time to train. You understand what I'm saying? They believe that the university system is working and capable of providing capacity for the would-be employee of their company. So if you now employ and begin to train, who bears the cost? Time lag and what have you? In terms of the training.
I think what most of the private sector organizations they do now is they have their internal training school. So when they employ you, they run you through that.
The bigger ones.
Yeah,
the bigger ones who can afford it.
Who can afford it.
They can do so. But that speaks to the deficiency. In the educational system,
primary
the
level,
gap.
yes.
We have.
All right, one more headline, or maybe two more. Over 140 million Nigerians may become poorer by December
2026, okay?
Okay. 2026. Over 140 million Nigerians may become poorer by December. U.S. operations in Venezuela undermine international law. Well, okay. Poor interagency cooperation may stall Joshua's vehicle crash investigation. IGP orders mobilization of withdrawn VIP escorts. Deploys DIG, 17 CPs. Those are some headlines.
So there was no investigation before they took the driver of Joshua to court. That's what the headline says.
Was there
That may stall.
Was there investigation before they told us that it was overspeeding? There was no investigation.
No.
And then we are dealing with, okay, maybe it was a bus tire, or maybe this, or maybe that. A lot of assumptions as against proper investigation.
What they would have done is to take that driver to custody, interrogate him,
Which
give
they have
him
done,
bail,
actually.
not just railroading him to the court. On what charges? Is it manslaughter or what?
I want to talk a bit about what the United Nations is saying about U.S. operation in Venezuela, undermining international law. And I asked the question, is there anything called international law? Is it enforceable? Can you enforce it? The first place to start dealing with international law is that we have 157 people sit together in a room, and one man stands up to say, look, I'll veto that decision. So what's the essence of international? There's nothing like international law. We were taught at university that there is called international law and I don't want to pronounce that word. We all know it. So it's we still live in a world where might is right. That's essentially what it is. So, but UN has said what it needs to say, because what UN is saying, 3 people will gather and 5 or 11 of them will take a decision for 157 people, and one person stands up and says, no, it's not going to work, and that ends it.
Let me put another dimension to this. What was Nigeria's stand in all this? Have we made a statement?
Should we make a statement?
Moses, I'll throw the question to you.
Should we make a statement?
Nigeria must make a statement.
ECOWAS has made a statement.
ECOWAS? Man, so why would they para for another person headache? Like, delegate headache now. Now, need they drink paracetamol.
No.
Except you are telling me that
it's
the thing that gave, except you are telling me that the thing that gave...
Unless there are something we do not know.
Okay.
Why must Nigeria be aloof? Why must we have
part
silence?
Of our foreign policy? What goes on in America? Either North America, South America.
Why did you go to Benin Republic? Is it part of your foreign policy?
West Africa.
What?
That's West Africa.
It's another country.
That's our neighbor.
It's another country.
It's another country.
What worries me is we can't stay on the fence on this.
But ECOWAS has spoken. I don't
What
understand.
do you mean by ECOWAS?
Let me answer your
the head of
question.
ECOWAS?
Manzi, let me answer your
Thank
question.
you.
I just asked you. Now, Dele has headache. I'm the one taking paracetamol.
Don't thank him yet. You thanked him too early.
No, except you want to tell me that Dele has headache.
Yes.
Because Dele and I
You are sitting closer to Dele.
No, that
So
Dele.
if you take analgesics, it will work.
No, except you're telling me that the beer two of us drank last night is what is causing his headache. That is the only way I'll become concerned, that he has headache. So, analogically, what I'm saying is that except you want to tell us that what is happening in Venezuela is happening in Nigeria, and that the reason why they went to Venezuela.
We are doing analysis here.
Exactly.
Exactly what we are doing. So we want to see how what is happening in Venezuela can also either
may also happen in Nigeria.
dovetail into Nigeria, or
so now that's the question: do we have the same problems?
So, and as a sovereign nation, being counted as the biggest in Africa.
We have
you understand me?
Okay, Moses said we might have similar problems.
The scenarios are,
they are similar.
They're similar.
I think we should, being what we are or being what we claim to be, that we should have a stand on this. In international relations, Committee of Nations, you don't need to stay on the fence. You don't need to stay on the fence. You stay on the fence when it is absolutely necessary. Probably when you're watching the scenarios being played out.
Nigeria is watching.
So that you can now have your voice. Because some other countries, more smaller than you are also watching your own reaction. And tomorrow you can not log it over them.
As a payoff, our foreign policy is couched in what we call concentric circles. It radiates from the inside to the outside. What it means is that we take care of what is closest to us, and that is West Africa.
You are doing an explanation.
After West Africa, we go to
inability
Africa.
to stand up when others have,
But we stood up for them. That's our neighbor.
That's our neighbor. So that's what I'm telling you. What are the basis of our foreign policy? 3 circles from the inside. So West Africa,
okay,
Africa, and
the
then
Nigerian
global.
government communicate this to us that we are watching the situation. We don't want to dabble into something that is not ours. Something that will not benefit us.
No,
that is the point I'm making.
They have communicated this to us. We're absolutely out of time. We're absolutely out of time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mazi Amobi Iheguru. Thank you very much for your contribution. We must say a very big thank you to Dele Fanimo and Chukwuma Okoro. Well, Chukwuma makes a comeback later tonight at 6 p.m. on Political Lens.
Yes, and I'll be joined by Barrister Asim Adams. He's a constitutional lawyer, and we're going to discuss the politics of ADC, the politics of P2B and Atiku, and the politics of what is going on in Venezuela and how that affects and impacts on Nigerian politics.
All right, there you have it. So I'll be dissecting all these issues, and you want to be part of that one. Well, that's it on the show. Sports comes up next. I am Moses Humphrey, wishing you a beautiful day. Bye for now.
VOP TV. Now, you have more than a voice.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nation.